Greetings. This is Whitney Owens Park or Freestyle Fairy Kinds, and today is day 14 of my 90-day challenge. And today I will be discussing breastfeeding, which is awesome. I got to breastfeed with my son for 18 months. I know that not every mom gets to do that, and not every mom wants to do that, but breastfeeding is awesome and it has so many benefits for both the mommy and the baby. So I'm going to run through the benefits a little bit, and then I'm going to talk about how to manage your breastfeeding relationship so that you can succeed. And so first of all, the colostrum. That's the very first breast milk that you would give your baby. And the antibodies that are in that colostrum is just an imprint, a blueprint of all of your immunities. And it basically has all of that jam-packed into the very first few droplets of milk that you can give to your baby. And it is also got healthy enzymes in it that are unlike any other, that they haven't been able to duplicate them. And they are so good for the baby. They will allow your baby to digest them a lot easier than, say, cow formula, or formula from cow's milk or soy formula. And so a lot of times your baby that is breastfed will not have as many issues with stomach upset or bowel issues. So they won't have diarrhea, they won't have constipation as much, they won't have gas, and it's all to do with the ability that they're able to process the breast milk a lot easier. Another interesting fact is that they will have a lot fewer respiratory illnesses or ear infections. They might have less, they're less prone to asthma or allergies. So they're not going to, the allergies one is because they're not being introduced to the cow's milk very early, which their bodies are just not very good at handling. So they might develop allergies from that. Also with the ear infections, so when the baby is born, the sinus cavity to the ear canal is actually sort of open. And so when you have a breastfed baby, the way that they're drinking is that they do not have the connection from the sinus cavity to the ear canal. But when the baby is on their back drinking the bottle, they're much more likely to have drainage from the milk. And that is one of the reasons why bottle-fed babies have a lot more ear infections, because they're lying on their back to drink instead of laying on their, or resting on their side to drink from mommy's chest, or even laying on their tummy. So also your baby, when you're sensing that there is some sort of virus in the air, say somebody sneezes, your body will recognize that in 4 seconds, and it will begin to send supercharged antibodies specifically for that germ to your baby through the breast milk. So that is basically you are going to be helping inoculate your baby to illnesses. Even when you're sick, your body is going to keep sending those antibodies to the baby to help them defend against being sick. And that's why a lot of breastfed babies have fewer cases of pneumonia, respiratory illnesses, or colds and flus, things like that. So another one that they have done studies, breastfed babies are a lot lower risk for SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome, and they're not exactly sure what the correlation is between that. Some of the other things that are sort of offhand but really cool is that your baby might actually have a higher IQ simply because the fatty acids that are in breast milk actually are said to be brain boosters. So it's just helping to build their brain and make it stronger when you're breastfeeding. Also, you might avoid cost for braces in the future, because when a baby is suckling on the bottle, the hard nipple, their teeth are going to form around that, especially the longer that they're bottle fed instead of taking a sippy. But anyway, so their teeth will form around that, and so you might avoid having to pay for braces later on because you breastfed your baby. For the mommy, there are so many benefits as well. One of which for the baby and the mommy is the bonding experience. And just being able to hold your infant so many times a day. It's like every 4 hours at least. My baby was more. And you're having eye contact, you're having the skin to skin, your baby can feel and hear your heartbeat, you can talk to your baby and sing to your baby, and it just really helps the baby to feel safe and loved, and you're showing that baby so much affection all of the time that they know that they're safe with you and that you will always be there for them. Another awesome thing is that mamas who breastfeed are usually lower risk for breast cancer and ovarian cancer later in life. Also, when you are breastfeeding, your body is not sending the hormones to have ovulation, so you don't have to have menstruation. As long as you're going round the clock every 4 hours breastfeeding your baby, and you're not giving your baby any bottles or pacifiers, it is much more likely that you will be able to delay your menstruation, and therefore it's not a cure-all, but it is a sort of a natural birth control, which is nice. Also, when you're breastfeeding, you will sometimes, especially at the beginning, you will start to feel contractions like when you were in labor. Not the really hard contractions, but more of the Braxton Hicks. So what it is that the oxytocin, which is the love chemical, is actually being sent into your body, and it is not only going to help you lactate, but is going to your uterus, and it helps your uterus shrink back to huge baby. So it helps to within 6 weeks when you're breastfeeding versus 10 weeks when you're bottle feeding, it can help your uterus to shrink, which is really awesome because you will stop bleeding faster, and your body also will start to heal faster. Also, you will lose pregnancy weight a lot faster if you're breastfeeding, because when you're breastfeeding and producing milk, the milk production takes 300 and 500 calories. It burns 300 to 500 calories a day, depending on how much you feed your baby. So it's really awesome. You start to lose the weight, and you're not even working out. And then there's a few other reasons that it's really cool. That's one of the main reasons why I did it for so long is that it's a money saver. And depending on what kind of formula that you need to buy for your baby, you can spend between $1,600 to $6,000 a year for formula. It's very expensive. And even if you purchase your own pump, even if you have your other equipment like nursing pillows and nursing bras, comparatively the cost of maybe $500 for all of that, if you pay for all of that, which you might not have to, is so low compared to how much you have to pay for the formula, as well as your baby will get a lot more sick if you're having to feed your baby on from the bottle, and so you're dealing with a lot of medical expenses as well because of that. And if your baby isn't sick as often and you go back to work, then you don't have to take as much time off for work. And then the last reason that breastfeeding is awesome is that it's eco-friendly, and that's because you're not feeding into the cycle of the cows who produce the milk, who produce methane that goes into the atmosphere, and you're also helping to avoid as many crops of this monoculture of the soy to be grown. So that is some of the awesome reasons why breastfeeding is amazing. Now, I know that a lot of mamas can't breastfeed, and so I'm not saying that you're a bad mom if you can't breastfeed. But sometimes there are reasons why we can't breastfeed, and we can ameliorate those reasons and make it easier. So one of the reasons that it's really hard sometimes to breastfeed is that it hurts. And there's 2 reasons why that can happen, and that I know of. One of those is that the baby does not know how to latch, right? Or you're not latching correctly. So trying to find breastfeeding consultant or to join a La Leche league group in your area. They can help you to figure out the latch and get that working for you. Another really important reason is often totally forgot about, which is that a baby can have a tongue tie and a lip tie. So that's basically where the connection here or there is too long. And so there's a simple surgery. It's called either, I can't, my son had a tongue tie, and the surgery that he had, it was very simple. My midwife actually did it at home. I had a home birth. So on the very next day, she clipped the section under his tongue, and I had to do some regular massages to help heal the area, but it helped my breastfeeding relationship so much to improve because I could tell that he wasn't getting enough milk. And that was even on the first day. And so you want to talk to your OBGYN to see, or your baby's doctor, to see if they might have a tongue tie or lip tie. And a lot of times, now that we're taking a lot of folic acid, some doctors think that that might have to do with why the babies are forming these longer sections that are tying the lip or the tongue down. Now, when they're in the womb, they practice latching. They practice sucking on their thumb so that they're ready for nursing. Now, if that tongue tie or the lip tie is interfering with a latch being correct, then they're not going to know how to do it correctly. And there's a simple fix for that as well. You don't have to try to train your baby. You can go to a chiropractor, and there are chiropractors that help specifically with babies. And I took my baby at 4 months, and I wish I had at 1 month, and I wish I had taken him earlier, because I went through about a month of just, it was excruciating at times, because he was like biting me. So what the chiropractor did was a simple massage along the jaw and down the neck, and it literally went from pain, lots of pain, to no pain at all. And then my son grew he was growing a pound a week for a whole month because he started to get so much milk. And so that is really important. Find out if your baby has a lip tie or tongue tie, and then go to the chiropractor if they do have, or even if they don't have, to help their latch. To help improve their latch and to help them to be able to breastfeed without causing you pain. And then one other thing is that sometimes it's hard to produce enough milk. I really struggled with producing enough milk. I could never pump. I couldn't do that. Some mamas have an abundance. I did not. So you can take supplements. I took fenugreek, and you can take fenugreek about 16. Yes, I took 16 a day of fenugreek, no harm. The only thing was that my armpits smelled like maple syrup, which I don't think is harmful at all. But the fenugreek will help you to produce enough milk. And there's tons of recipes also with things like oatmeal and brewer's yeast, and I think there's other things as well. I can't remember. But you can make lactation goodies to eat to help support your breast milk production and to keep you going. So there's so many supportive groups out there. There's also awesome books about breastfeeding. If you have any questions about what I've talked about today, the last thing is that there is a natural product that I want to help you to find out how to take that will actually take advantage of this same it's a natural technology. Basically, it's called transfer factors. That's basically the antibodies that help us to fight off infections and viruses and bacteria. And this is a natural supplement that takes advantages of it, and we use it. It's made from cow colostrum, and it can boost your immunity up to 437%. And I've already seen the benefits in myself and my baby because it's completely safe to give to your children. So let me know if you're interested about this product, as well as any questions about breastfeeding. Like I said, I did it for 18 months, and so I have a little bit of knowledge to share. So lots of love to all of you. I see that so many of you watched today, and I'm so grateful that you're watching. And I hope that you have a blessed day, and I'll see you tomorrow for my live and my shout out. Ciao. Nos vemos.